Well, hello everybody. It's 3 o'clock and we are live here again at the Donegal New Build and Rebuild 2022. And my goodness, what a buzz we have going on here today. It's absolutely unbelievable. There's so many people wandering around and they're all building or renovating. And it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So I've changed my venue today. I'm now here at McDade's Bathroom and Plumbing and Tiles because this is a company that I've used over and over and over, and they have the most wonderful supply and range of sanitary ware and tiles. So whatever you need, it's a one-stop shop. You will find everything that you need here. So today I had planned to talk to you about finishing touches. Because when your build is finished, when everything is done, dusted, the renovation is done, the build is done, one thing that I find a lot of people don't do is they don't allow contingency funding for the finishing touches. So I would urge you to keep some money in reserve, because it is so disappointing to finish your build but not to be able to finish it off. So I'm going to literally go through some ways that you can finish off your house, and it doesn't have to be terribly expensive. There are ways that you can do that, but there are things that you must do to finish off your house, and it's all about the finish. The finish is really, really, really important. Now, one thing that I will tell you, the organisers of the event here today have got this amazing magazine. It's called Homes of Donegal, and it's been available here over the last 3 days at the show, and it's now going to be available in selected outlets throughout the country. And now the quality of this magazine is superb, and they asked me to write an article for them, which I did. This is it here. It's a 2-page article at the front of the magazine, and it's all about the beauties and the detail. It's all about the finish. So for me, one thing that I feel really elevates your design is to use artwork. And I'm not talking about using terribly expensive artwork. I am talking about curating art that you love. So if you want to invest in some original pieces, do. I have done that. But I also marry these pieces with inexpensive prints that I get professionally framed, canvases, family photographs. I'll use gallery walls as well, and these all are so effective in creating a gorgeous backdrop for your furniture and your home. Now I hope the light is okay here. It's probably a little bit bright and the noise is probably horrific because it is very busy here today. But one thing I'm going to say to you is, when you are hanging your art, will you just remember one thing? Most people hang their art too high, and what I want you to do is to remember the art gallery rule, which is you hang your art 60 inches from the floor to the centre of your art. And if you do this, something miraculous happens. Your art is at its, if you think about it, your natural eye height is about 60 inches. Some people are smaller, some people are taller. I'm only 5'2", but it's a very good rule of thumb to go by. So it's 60 inches from the floor to the centre of your art. Will McCauley is here. Hi Anne, enjoyed today. Great to meet up yesterday. It was fantastic to meet you. Even busier here today, Will, even busier. So remember that. If that's the one thing you remember from this broadcast today, 60 inches for your art, in the middle of your art to the floor. Now that's fine if you're hanging one piece of art, but what if you're hanging a multiple grouping or hanging 4 pieces of art or 2 pieces of art? What you do is you take the 4 pieces and you treat them as one, and you take the middle point as the middle point of your art, spaced from the floor. Nilla's watching, wish you could be there. You look smashing as ever, colourful. Yes, I'm in the pinks and orange today. But treat your art, if you have multiple groupings, treat them as one. But the secret to remember is the 60 inches from the floor to the middle of your art. Same if you've got 3 pieces of art or 2 pieces of art, treat them as one piece, and remember to keep your spaces tight. Most people will space their art in groupings too far apart. So what I want you to do is to space them in neater so that they become almost, they're unified. You don't have a piece of art here and a piece of art here. I want the 2 pieces to be one focal point together. Now there are exceptions to this rule. There are exceptions to every rule in interior design. If you're hanging a piece of art over a sofa, keep it about 6 to 8 inches above the sofa. Keep it down low. Same if you're hanging a big mirror over a sofa. Keep it low. If you're hanging something over a traditional mantle, keep it down low. Do not hang your mirror or your piece of art halfway between your ceiling and the top of the mantle. That's wrong. You must have it lower to the mantle. So 6 to 8 inches, and that looks much more visually appealing. And a little trick. If you've got a smallish room and you've got a big mirror, if you hang your big mirror over your sofa instead of putting it over your mantelpiece, it's going to open out your room much, much more, because the back of the sofa is lower and it's going to open out the whole vista, and then you can put a lovely piece of art above your fireplace, but do remember to keep it down lower to the fireplace. So that's hanging art. I'm referring to my own article here now to remind me. Lighting is so vitally important, and the important thing to remember about your lighting is do not just invest in one big statement piece of art. What you want to do is to layer your lighting. You want your statement piece, you want recessed spotlights, you want lamps, you want wall lights, you want accent lights. And when you layer all of your lights in the room, again, something miraculous happens. Your room becomes so much more cozy. Somebody else, one of my people, is saying to me, "Hi Anne, hi everybody, great to see you here." It was lovely to meet you yesterday. Well, absolutely lovely. But layer up your lighting. Don't just have stark light, and consider the bulbs that you put into your light as well. You know, I tend to use warm white bulbs in living spaces. I will use cool whites in bathrooms, and here I am in McDade's with all their gorgeous bathrooms. So yes, the cool white definitely does something to your sanitary ware. You're putting on your makeup, you're shaving, you're brushing your teeth. You need good clean light. Same in the functional areas of your kitchen. I tend to put white light into the spotlights in the kitchen area. But my preference for any sort of accent lighting is to use a warm bulb, because it gives a much more subtle, softer light. And look at your lamps in your house as well, and make sure that all of your lamps in the room have the same bulb, because what you don't want is to have one lamp with a cool white bulb and one lamp with a warm white bulb, because that's absolutely not going to work for you. If anybody has any questions at all or anything to do with finishing touches, let me know. Again, when you have considered your, sorry, I'm actually going to put that down the floor, that magazine, because it's getting in my way. When you have planned out your build and you've planned your layout, hi Kavina, you've planned your layout and you've planned your big ticket pieces of furniture, then it's time to start finishing the room. So if I'm staging a room, what I will do is, even if I'm staging a room in an existing house, I will actually take all of the furniture out of that space to start with. So that I'll even take the curtains down, believe it or not. I will literally start with the four walls, fireplace if there's a fireplace, on the floor. And the first thing I'll do is to put in the furniture. And when you're picking your furniture, I want you to be so considered and measured in the size of furniture that you put into your room. Please bring your plans to the furniture shop when you're buying your furniture. And then when you choose your furniture, bring a newspaper back home and measure out the size of the furniture on your floor, because it gives you a very realistic template of what the furniture is going to look like in your space. You do not want furniture that's too big for your space, and you also don't want furniture that's too small for your space. Hi Noreen, and I believe you're coming on the 3-day challenge with me. So, and remember that too, if anybody is looking in, I'm doing a 3-day challenge starting on the 11th of April, and this is for anybody who's contemplating building or renovating or redecorating. I'm going to get you started. It's an absolutely free 3-day challenge, but I'm going to identify your pain points. I am going to help you establish your own style, whether you know it or not, and just how to move forward. I was just speaking to somebody here at McDade's who was looking at a bath, and she said she hasn't thought, her build has started and she hasn't thought about any of her sanitary wear yet. The secret is to get in early, make your choices early, and make the right choices. So that's a 3-day challenge, a 3-day challenge. It's totally free, and it starts on the 11th of April. And if you want to know more about that, send me a direct message and I will send you the login. There's actually been huge uptake. Lots of people want to do it. So it's great, and it really will focus you, and it could be the best thing that you've ever done. So going back to the room, your room is empty, your furniture is in, it's exactly the right size, and if you've got an L-shaped sofa, you know that your right and your left are the right configuration and the right length. What I will do then is I start and I fill the corners. So if you've got lamp tables in the corners, now is the time to put them in. If you're putting in your TV cabinet, put it in. Pop up your TV. Put your lamps on your lamp tables in your corners. Hang your curtains. Can you see what's happening? The jigsaw is beginning to evolve, and everything is all the pieces are falling into place. So you've got your furniture, you've got your corners filled, you've got your lamps, and I want your lamps to be high. I want them to be impactful. I want big lamps. I do not want skinny lamps. I want something quite impactful and strong. Okay. If you've got a rug, now is the time you can put down your rug. If you've got a coffee table, put your coffee table or your ottoman on the rug. Get your curtains up. Try and get as much natural daylight as you can to come into your room. So that means that you hang your curtains higher to allow the light to come in from the top of your window, you do that. If it means that you hang them further back on the pole, to stack them back and to allow as much natural light as possible into your room, you do that as well. And this is when the fun starts. Now you can hang your pictures. So you can see where you've got your spaces. I would never ever hang a picture in a room until I know exactly where I've placed the furniture and how the room is looking. So now you can see whether you're going to have one big picture over your sofa, if you're going to have a mirror somewhere, if you're going to have art stacked, maybe one on top of the other. And I use lots of art. And if any of you are worried about hanging art, if you follow the Room Junkie page, there are lots of videos here that will show you exactly how to hang art, how to hang a picture gallery wall in your home, how to do it properly. And this is a very effective thing to do. Say in a family room, wall behind the sofa, maybe on a landing. But you need to do it right. You need to have the right frames. You need to have the spacings right to get maximum impact. And you will, very inexpensively. I use IKEA frames to do mine, and they are gorgeous. They come in white or black, but the secret's in the spacing and just getting the outline right, filling it in right, and getting the heights right. So get your pictures in. Take out if you're going to have flowers. I want you to remember sorry, I'm being quite distracted. There are so many people wandering around that it's actually hard to concentrate on speaking to you as well as watching everything else that's going on. So forgive me for that. And if you have any questions or if I'm not making sense, just send me a question and I will happily answer that for you. But when you're arranging your flowers, remember the odd number rule. So when you're arranging flowers, you're going to have the odd numbers 3, 5, 7. They look better that way. Same if you're putting down picture frames, and I love to have silver picture frames of my family members in my rooms. So again, odd number rules, 1, 3, 5. It's more than likely going to be 1 or 3. So your room is dressed and it's finished, and that didn't take too much effort, but the finishing off is really, really important. Another thing that you need to do is to consider the textiles that you put into your room, and by this I mean the curtains. There's Paddy wandering by, Paddy who's organised this amazing event, Paddy Kelly, and do remember that magazine, which is a superb magazine, is a worthy, it's as good a quality as any of the Homes and Gardens magazines that you will find in the stands, and it's free. And you'll find it was exclusive to the show over the weekend, but now it's going to be in selected retail outlets from tomorrow morning on. What was I saying? Oh yeah, textiles. So cushions, layer on your cushions, loads and loads of cushions, plump them up. Scatterbox Irish Company have the most phenomenal cushions, so that you can bring in loads of colour and texture in velvets and linens and whatever you feel like, chenille, anything. And they have the most wonderful colours as well, really uplifting colours. The quality is super. The fillers are feather fillers. They're only about €30 I think per cushion, and they are just stunning. So put in your cushions. Get a throw in a gorgeous, maybe in one of our Donegal tweeds, or in a nice soft boucle or a mohair, because texture almost becomes like a colour. So having a beautiful textured throw on your sofa is going to add another dimension to your room. Your rug is obviously going to add texture to your space. Sculpture, stone, plants, flowers, these are all going to add texture and colour as well. And this is what brings your room to life. So I feel like I'm rambling because I really am. Now, I wasn't too bad on Friday or Saturday, but it's much busier here today, and lots of people are here. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful to see it. I'm very tempted to get into this bath beside me after a bit. It just looks so comfortable and so inviting. So has anybody got a question for me at all about anything? It doesn't have to be about finishing touches, anything at all. And if anybody is having a peek at this as you're wandering around, will you come up to me and say hello? Because then people are nervous to come up and say hello. But it's lovely, and it's lovely to see lots of kids here with their parents. They're all being so good. There's a little girl here beside me, and I think she's just dying to get into the bath, and I don't blame her because it's absolutely gorgeous. Anybody got a question at all? No questions? No? And you know what? The crazy thing is there's so many people wandering around. If they had a question, I'm going to say, sorry, can I be so bold? I'm not going to put you live, but I haven't done this before. Are you building or renovating or thinking of? Okay, I just grabbed somebody, a gorgeous, beautiful, dark-haired lady. What is your biggest challenge?
I don't know, at the minute, I suppose the budget.
Now, this is 2 days ago I talked about this, or maybe it was yesterday, and she has reiterated what I've said. This is the world we're living in today. The budget it always was the most important consideration. It's vitally important today because budgets and prices are changing, timelines are changing, lead times are changing. But you can do it. Actually, you should watch my video from yesterday. I covered all of that. Anything else that's challenging? This is desperate. I put her on the spot completely, but she doesn't mind.
We came in the door and our thing was we were going to air the water, and we've nearly just done a U-turn to go to do because this advice that we're getting.
Okay, this is another theme that's coming up. People are coming in with one idea of how they're going to heat their house, and they're doing so much due diligence. And I think this is maybe one good thing that our current times are doing for us. It's forcing us to think outside the box and to think very cleverly and very strategically to get the result that you want, because I said it yesterday, it's going to cost just as much to get it wrong as it is to get it right. So you do your homework even more so than ever, but you need to do it earlier in the build, and you need to be so prepared. And your tradespeople, you need to book them in really, really early as well, because they're so hard to get, and if you are not ready for them when they're booked to come in, it's going to hold up your build, and that's going to really annoy everybody. So push everybody off. So that's the one thing we don't want to happen. Anything else? Any question you want me to answer for you? She's brilliant. Come in and say hello for a minute. They won't hear you because of the noise, but what's your name?
Claire.
Claire. It's Claire, isn't she gorgeous? And she had no idea she was coming in. But any questions, Claire? Anything? If I could wave a magic wand for you in the build, what would it be?
I suppose we're trying to as well decide on to go down tiling level or tiling street, or that you use the polish floor or the concrete floor. Okay, you need to do your homework here. Very different schools of thought. I'm going to be brutally honest. If it were my house, I think I would tile it. Yeah. Even though I do love polished concrete, I think that technology has improved tiling so much, and the tiles have become so much bigger. It depends. I mean, for either you're going to need a superb finish to start off with. But you know what? Go with your gut. It's your house. If you love, one thing that I will say to you, Claire, anything that you put into your house from now on, you must love it. And if you don't love it, you don't buy it. It's a bit like when I found this dress. It's a cheap John Stores dress, but I love the colour and I love it. You know, and that's the way you have to feel about everything that goes into your house. If you love it, it will last. And trust your gut as well. If you want to go down the polished concrete route, make sure you know exactly who's putting it down. Check out that where they've done it before. Talk to them. You know, do all of that you would do anyway. But do trust your gut. Were you thinking of putting polished concrete everywhere? No.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
On our hallways.
That's different. Sorry, I thought you meant everywhere. Okay, do it. I mean, have I done it in houses? Yes. I will be very careful about who installs it. And that's being honest, because you know it's a gorgeous finish. It's not cold. If you've got underfloor heating, it's going to be toasty warm anyway, and it's got a bit of life to it, and it's a natural product. So no matter what the style of your house is, it's going to work. Probably will work better in a more contemporary style, but you could put it anywhere.
And there's a question I agree.
Good. Oh, this is great.
We're trying. Well, I'm trying. Our kitchen is going to be the focal room of the house.
Yes.
And I find it very hard to make a concrete decision on what look that I want to go for.
Okay. Do you know something, Claire? I'm glad that you came here, because this could be the best thing you've ever done. I'm doing a free challenge starting on the 11th of April, because I specialise mostly in new builds. That's what I do. It's what I love. But I know a lot of people who maybe for different reasons can't work with me are struggling big time. So I thought I'm going to do a challenge totally free for 3 days. Loads of people have signed up for it. But what I'm going to do is, first day is going to be finding your individual pain points. And there's homework to be done that evening. And then the next day it's going to be about finding your individual style. And everybody has it, but not everybody knows what it is. I always start with the kitchen. The kitchen is the most important room in your house. It will set the tone for all of the rest of your house. I see Breda in here, and I know she's thinking that way. So, whether you want a contemporary kitchen, whether you want a more traditional kitchen, it doesn't matter. But you must love it, and it must work. And looking good is not just good enough. It's got to flow, it's got to work with the space that you've got. So you need to be very clever and strategic. Your kitchen, you need to put huge effort. Because if you pick your kitchen, the style of your kitchen, and the layout of your kitchen, I do this at plan stage before houses are even built. I'm doing a house over in Killybegs for a client. Oh no, it's in Benroe. Clients live in Dubai. You probably know who they are. It's Declan McCabe house. It's gorgeous. It's on the water. We had the kitchen picked. I shouldn't say that. But I mean, my client was home from Dubai for 1 week, and we did windows, we did kitchen, and the house the ground hadn't even been broken. So style a kitchen, figure that out, figure out the layout, figure out everything about your kitchen. Then the colour will come. Then your worktop will come. Then your floor will come. And then somehow I'm getting excited now because you can see the picture just starting to happen, and this whole thing is evolving, and that's the way you do it. Whereas a lot of people will leave the kitchen as an afterthought. They'll leave the lighting to an afterthought. That needs to be done long before first fix. I mean, again, I do the lighting on the plans because to save costs as well. When you go to do your first fix plumbing and lighting, you must, like I was talking to a lady here just a few minutes ago who her first fix is done and she's looking at baths, and I said, have you told your builder which bath you're having? And she said, no, I haven't even thought of any of that. And because the builder needs to know first fix where your waste is, he needs to know if you're having wall hung vanity units, he needs to know if you're having wall hung toilets, and it's so easy to do this, but you just need to do it in time. Oh Claire, I think it was your lucky day that we met. Life is very small. I can't believe that you know who I was talking about. Okay, that's mad. That is mad. Anything else you want to ask me? Do you know what? You can come into the Room Junkie page anyway and leave me a question.
I'm looking here, the name, and I'm taking it all in now.
Do. Because for 2 years, I've been doing a Facebook Live for 2 years. Since the day 2 years ago when all of my bills stopped overnight. One Friday morning, I cried for 24 hours because my phone didn't stop ringing, and everything was cancelled initially and then postponed for a very long time. And that's when I said, you know what? I am going to go online. Gosh, you should have been watching 2 years ago. You'd have had all this done. And I'm going to share everything that I know for free. I did. But I mean, it's come back to me. And I've had great clients. Parry could be one of them because of all of this. But what goes round comes round. But it's all about doing the due diligence and just doing it in time.
But I think, as you say, it's the most important room of the house, and everything else will flow from it. And I think that's why it's such a big decision. And
huge.
You're trying to get it right as well.
Perfect. Everything needs to be right. Everything. And this is your house. It's your money. It's it's probably your home for life, possibly, hopefully, And if you're over in Killybegs, it's probably got a gorgeous view and it's in a beautiful spot. So work to the aspect as well. Know your aspect, your south and west. That's really important. If you've got a north-facing space, well, then you just work with it and you compensate for it. And there's ways of doing that. But get your kitchen. Get the kitchen of your dreams, because you can have it. And the earlier you do it, the less it's going to cost you, in the sense that if you know exactly what you want, you can shop around and you will find what you want. I have this notion, and I mean, I'm married to an accountant and he thinks this is simplistic, but it's not. If you know what you want, you'll find it to your budget. It's when you don't know that you make rash choices, or if your builder's putting you under pressure and says, Claire, I need that kitchen in 3 weeks' time, or I need those tiles on Monday morning because the tiler's coming, and then you're panicking and you do the wrong thing and you buy the wrong things. So don't worry about it. You're keeping very quiet. The calculator is going behind his head, and he said, but you know what? It's your dream home. You deserve it, and do it, and it's doable. I mean, I remember my first client ever was Shane Filan from Westlife. Believe it or believe it not, it was an RTE show house. I had never had a client. Yes, I had done our own houses. Yes, I did have all the qualifications, but RTE asked me to do it, and my budget for that house, and this is shocking, was 25,000 only. I spent more on my own kitchen because I put in a 4-oven Aga, but I did that entire house. I never worked as hard on anything in my life probably, but 25 grand, But did I do it? And I did. I had to do it because I had no choice. That was the budget. And even though some of the suppliers were giving me higher end things for free, I didn't do it because I thought these are starter homes for young people. So what I want to put in this house, I want other people to be able to, do the same thing and get inspiration from it and all of that. So no, you won't do it for 25 grand. I couldn't do it for you for 25 grand. But I did that. That is the truth. I absolutely did. Yeah. Like I even had Letterkenny glass tortured. They made stuff for me. It was just mad. But listen, when have you started to build yet?
We have, yeah. are starting our internal floors now this week.
Oh, so you're well away. Okay. Oh, Claire, you need to focus on your kitchen because you know something. You need. In fact, if you're doing your internal floors, you need to know whether you're using tiles or laminate floors or polish.
That's why we're here today.
That's why you're here. I think that's a decision you need to make maybe today and tell your builder on Monday, because being decisive, indecision is a scourge of interior design or a new build. When you're indecisive, it's almost to get into a panic mode.
Well, I'm usually very decisive, so this is
Listen,
throwing me off a wee bit.
I talked to an architect here today, and I have an architect client who said to me, I do this as for a living, I do this for everybody, but I can't do my own house because I'm too close. There's emotion, I'm not thinking logically, I'm not being objective, this is my home, my money, so it's harder. But you know what, if that's the one thing you take away from today, maybe figure out where you're putting your tiles, and the tiles are going to be easy enough because you're probably going to go with a porcelain tile and they're going to be of a similar depth really. I would urge you to go for big, large format tiles. They're definitely the way to go, and the grout lines are so tiny and the edges are all rectified, and you get this, like I've put down floors, picked floors for somebody you know whose name I won't mention. And because the rectified edges and because the grout lines are so fine, that's going to feel like a seamless floor all throughout that space, and I know it well. I've done it over and over. You know, I've put down metre square and 1.2 metre square tiles, and it is that lovely marble seamless look. So yeah, decide on that. Think long and hard. Trust your gut. Now, if you've got to saying, I want to polish concrete hall, do it, and just tick that box, and then say we're going to have tiles here, we're going to have laminate here, we're going to have carpet here if you want, whatever. But make that decision now, and then your floors can go down, and nobody has to worry about compensation or building things up or worse.
Is there still as much carpet going down now as there used to be?
Okay, not so much, being honest, but have I used carpet with underfloor heating recently? Yes, I have, because the clients have wanted to. The important thing, it's a bit like your laminate floor, you must have a proper underlay. It's a perforated underlay, and it does work. Obviously, a porcelain tile or your polished concrete is going to be the best medium for the heat to come through. There's no doubt about that. But in bedrooms, if you wanted to have floor that are over there, I've worked a lot with them. They would have used, put lots of really high quality laminates down, but you must have the proper underlay. Same for the carpets. And if you're putting a carpet down, put down a bleach cleanable carpet, so you can spill your fake tan or your lipstick or whatever. I even had a client who spilled motor oil on one of the carpets, and we got it out because it's bleach cleanable and very liquid, and it cleans. So even if kids get sick, it doesn't matter. So you can't have everything. You just need to make up your mind.
And are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram, Room Junkie Anne as well. Yeah, I've only literally just started. That's one mistake I made during lockdown. I didn't get going on Instagram 2 years ago. I should have, but I'm there now. So yeah, find me and I will follow you.
Instagram is where we're self-built Drummond.
Self-built Drummond. Okay. I will. How can I get your email address? Send it to me in a direct message. Or even follow me on Instagram, and then because I will send you, because you could definitely benefit from that 3 days. And there will be homework that you have to do, but this is homework for you. It's not for me. It's for you. So it will help your build. There's no doubt about that. Okay, I'm delighted. You're so good. Safe journey back to Killeen. Well, I'm an in-through girl as well. I'm from Carrick. Yes. Oh, that was brilliant. That made my day. That was just fantastic. Thanks a million. Bye. Oh, she was a good sport. Rita's saying, what's your opinion, hanging a mirror over the fireplace and your television on the opposite end of the sitting room? Yes, I would totally agree with that. I am certainly not a fan of putting your fireplace over your mirror, putting a mirror over the fireplace, because I feel it's wasted, to be honest, particularly if you've got a higher fireplace. If you've got a lower contemporary fireplace, you can get away with anything. You can have a TV above it because it's going to be ergonomically at the right height. It's going to be at the right eye height. It's going to be fine. But if you've got a traditional mantle, do not put your TV above it. It's too high and you're going to hurt your neck and you're going to hurt your kids' necks. So yes, Brita, you can have a mirror over the fireplace, but here's a thought for you. Consider putting a mirror, big mirror, circular mirror, big massive oversized mirror over your sofa, a piece of art over your fireplace, and your television on the opposite wall. Okay, any more questions?
Now, you know what I should have. What I should have done was grab people. Now, not everybody's going to want to answer the questions, answer my questions. But that girl was great, and you know what? I'm glad I picked her because she needed to know that. She needed to figure all of that out, and she has. So you know what? I'm going to go. I am delighted to be here. I just wish that I could do. Maybe I would do a walk around and just show you the buzz, so that you could hear the happy, buzzy, lovely, animated sounds. People are doing their research, and just so, like I said to Claire, now more than ever, because budgets are vitally important. They were always important. The budget was always the most important component of anybody's build, and let me tell you, everybody had a budget. Even in the most high-end build, there's always a budget. So you stick to your budget, but budgets are variable now. Prices are fluid and changing, so do everything as soon as you can, as early as you can, and it will just make it so much easier for you. And Claire had said to me she's finding it very hard to get tradespeople. I was speaking to somebody else, another young couple who are building, and so get your trades on board, you know, and keep reminding them and stay in touch with them for the months leading up to the build, because this is just so important. Paddy, come on. Now, here's somebody else gorgeous coming in to say hello to you.
Hello.
Oh, Paddy's so much taller than me. I lift up the camera. Woohoo!
Hello.
Paddy, this has been the most incredible event. Honest to God, the atmosphere is tangible. It's electric. It's on fire. I just wish they could actually hear the noise and hear the happy sounds. Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Everybody's also been very happy. We have a nice selection of products there for everybody, and it's been a busy weekend. Good to see everybody back out again after the whole COVID and everything else.
It's wonderful, and I am so, as a Donegal girl, as an in-through girl, I'm just so thrilled to be part of this. I didn't tell you this, but I could have been at the Ideal Homes today. I could have been doing an expert clinic. I chose to be here in Letterkenny, and you know what, the quality of everything here is, you don't need to go to Dublin to buy. Everything you need is here, and I've been telling them about that fabulous magazine that you have coming out tomorrow. It's been available here all over the weekend, and now it's going to be available in selected outlets, so look out for it, because it is just, you know, it's a compendium of local knowledge. So you don't need, all you need to do is flick through that book. If you haven't been here, everybody and everything that you need to know is here. So I'm going to put that down because it's actually quite heavy. Thank you so much for coming in.
I just want to say to Anne, I do appreciate you being here, because we were aware we were clashing with the national event, but we decided that the people at Donegal didn't have to go to Dublin, and we decided we were going to put on a show of the standard of Dublin, and we hopefully we've realised that. So thanks to you, Anne, for coming along, and thanks for broadcasting.
It was my pleasure. My absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. I'm glad I caught Paddy, because he has done a superb job. This event has been advertised, organised to perfection, and it's been a joy to be here. So I am going to say goodbye. I'm at McDade's bathroom and tile showroom for today, which is their stand. If anybody is in the northwest, I have taken bathrooms from McDade's to Dublin, never mind to Donegal. So Bridget is here and Fiona is here. They are a wealth of knowledge, and they will just inspire you, and as well as give you the inspiration, they'll give you the practical knowledge as well, because your bathroom is practical. You must get the plumbing and the layout right, and I'm going to try and Bridget to come in, because these girls are just amazing and they make it so easy. Come in to me. Now, Bridget is still, everybody's taller than me, but Paddy's so much taller. Listen, I was just telling them that, you know, McDade's is a one-stop shop, Bridget. It's always a joy and a pleasure to go over. The showroom is gorgeous. It's really inspirational, and you change it up so much as well, and you offer tea and coffee, and it's a very personal experience, and the follow-up is amazing. I mean, I can remember a job in Dublin that was problematic, and it was a pain, and yet, you know, anything that was needed was sent there immediately, and that is what happens. That's a service that you get when you buy local. So, and thank you for letting me take over your stand today.
Anytime, we'd love to see you.
No, it's great. Brilliant. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. It's over and out. We're wrapping up here fairly shortly, but if you do have a question, please do send me a message here. I'll gladly answer it. And if you know somebody who is building, renovating or extending, do let them know that I am having a free, totally free 3-day challenge to
help them not have the issues that Claire had a few minutes ago that I hope I'll be able to resolve. I will be able to resolve them for her, because they're just things that you need to do to focus your mind, to get into the build, to have the optimum build. So on that note, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing, delighted to be here, and I shall be back on Monday with my normal 3 o'clock live. And on that point, I'm going to say over and out. Stay safe and stay fabulous. See you at 3 o'clock. And do join that challenge. I think the 11th is a Tuesday. I think it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just before Easter. I think it's definitely the 11th. So send me a message, or if you've got a family member or a friend or anybody who wants to take part, just to get them in the right mental state of mind to progress what they're doing, I would love to help them. So stay safe, stay fabulous, and I'll talk to you Monday at 3 o'clock.